because we were talking a lot about, Manchester United strikers and the fact that they haven't been in incredible form. 5 goals between all of the strikers. So obviously, when you look to the January transfer window, it would be a striker on the market. And these are the 3 of the players that we thought, if Manchester United were really desperate or even in a position where they are able to attain someone, one of these players would be the ones.
Absolutely. I think Manchester United find themselves in a similar situation to what they did last January. We all know how that went with Manchester United bringing in Wout Weghorst as a support striker, somebody to just fill in until the end of the season. FFP right at the top of Manchester United's sort of concern list, having to comply with that and making sure that they're above board. Obviously, Ineos have now come into the club with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but how much funds are available now in the immediate? Not very much. So they're looking at low-cost options, people who are maybe not playing at their clubs, who can come in and fill a void. And Timo Werner, Eric Choupo-Moting and Guirassy are at the top of that list at the minute.
Yeah, I think when you look at their stats that we'll see very soon, I think Guirassy is probably one of the players that you could look at in terms of what he's done this season. 14 games, 17 goals, 1 assist. I think when you look at stats, that is the type of player that you need. But you said it doesn't look like it could be that likely.
No, I mean, Guirassy is reported to have a release clause of £15.2 million. And to be honest with you, that's £15.2 million more than Manchester United can afford during this point of the window. Of course, he's only second to Harry Kane in the league for goal scoring, 17 goals in 14 games, which is a fantastic return, a really exciting player. But it's just not feasible for Manchester United to get him out and to pay that money. Then you are looking at Timo Werner. Look, he had an indifferent time at Chelsea, did win the Champions League, but I think that big transfer was largely looked at as something that didn't really materialise into the potential that he had. And now he's gone back to Leipzig. And again, 8 games, 2 goals, has an executory up. And Eric Choupo-Moting, I mean, it's incredible, the agent that he's got, playing at Stoke, then going on to PSG, then find himself at Bayern Munich. And now his agent might be able to get him into Manchester United. I mean, that's the agent you want if you're going to be a footballer. But I just think, as a Manchester United fan, you're looking at these options and it's just really indicative of actually where Manchester United are. This time last year, need to bring in Wout Weghorst. Quality-wise, not where Manchester United should be. And now, again, I don't want to be disrespectful, but looking at the likes of Choupo-Moting and Timo Werner, again, not where Manchester United should be, but that is the reality.
But when you talk about the players, almost a stopgap because you mentioned loans. I think Timo Werner, if you're looking at Timo Werner and Choupo-Moting in terms of coming in on loan or a really low fee, I think Choupo-Moting could be a similar mould to what Weghorst did for United last season. Yes, he didn't score that many goals, but this season at least you have Højlund, who, hasn't really found his form in the Premier League. He scored quite a few goals in the Champions League, but he's a senior player that has proven he's done well at PSG, at Bayern Munich when called upon. Yes, this season hasn't done that well, but I still feel like there's a player in there. What do you guys think? Do you think that any of these options, or do you reckon there's someone else?
I just think, as you mentioned there, it's going to be really hard in January to be able to do any realistic business. And the football director came out and he said, we've always been consistent in saying that we do not see January as the optimal time to do business, and our recruitment strategy remains focused on summer windows. That's always kind of been the way in recent times, hasn't it, at Manchester United?
Do you think loan moves most likely?
Exactly, and you look to last season when they brought in Weghorst as kind of a short-term option, and maybe they'll look into the loan market as a more feasible option because they have to also be acutely aware of FFP regulations. And you mentioned there not having the 15 million to spend on a striker. I mean, for a striker, that's an incredibly good deal. There's not many options in the market that would cost that little, especially the striker market, with so many top clubs looking for that option. So I think if they were to do that, they would be looking at the loan options. And there'd be question marks over the investment coming in, but that's yet to kind of be ratified by the Premier League. So that investment won't have any real benefit in the January transfer window. So probably looking into the loan market. Bad news for Manchester United fans for now. No permanent kind of signings this window, but good summer ahead maybe.
I just don't think that there's necessarily like a striker that would cost that amount for you to come in and hit the ground running. I think Timo Werner and Choupo-Moting are players that we've seen the best of them in different teams and different forms, but if you're looking at, the Victor Osimhen's that we've been talking about, these players cost way too much for a January signing. And Højlund is their main striker, and Ten Hag really does believe in him. But I do think where there's games where he's having a few run of games where he needs his confidence, or he just needs someone to, bounce off of, like something that someone who can learn from.
Support.
Yeah.
Doesn't have support.
He needs someone to take the pressure off him as well, because you mentioned how difficult it is to find a striker. Well, Manchester United became aware of that in summer when they were trying to look for someone who was proven and you knew could come in and make a direct impact. Højlund does still need that time, and he does need someone who he can maybe link up with, take the pressure off him a little bit, because it's hard for him coming in, a younger player, and saying, right, you've now got the goal scoring responsibility for Manchester United, a huge club, and only 2 clubs have scored less than them in the Premier League at the moment, and that's not where they need to be.